Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Concealer Fest, and today I'm going to check out from Revlon the Colorstay Flex Wear Full Cover Concealer. What I can tell, it's a reformulation of the original Colorstay concealer formula. Retails for $12.99 for 0.34 fluid ounces or 10 milliliters of a product. I count 12 different shades, and I have got this in, how did I already forget the shade? I will check that in a moment for you. But this is claiming 24-hour flex wear, 100% full coverage with adaptive flex technology that moves with you, non-creasing, non-drying feel, transfer resistant and waterproof, and it's got hyaluronic acid and vitamin E. The only thing that makes me nervous is it's also got clay to smooth and prime, and that's usually a drying ingredient on me, so I'm not sure how that's gonna go. They specifically said it's not drying. Let's get Sherlock out here so I can figure out what shade I picked. Is the shade not printed on the actual... Oh, here we go. Wow, that's small. I got it in shade Fair. So let's take a look at shade Fair swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time. First up is today's concealer from Revlon, the Colorstay Flex Wear Full Cover Concealer in shade Fair. Second, I've got from NARS the Radiant Creamy Concealer in Vanilla. Third up is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in Fair. And last, I've got from Haus Labs shade 12 Light Rosy. I've already got foundation on. If you missed it, I am also testing the Maybelline Eraser Treatment Makeup, which has been out for a couple years. They do have some new darker shades out now, and I never tried it. So if you missed that, go back. It was Friday's video. Let's take a look at... All right, we got ourselves a large doe foot applicator here. And I will be using, I don't have my mini sponge. I'll use a little sponge or my big sponge on one side, and we will use a brush on the other side. And let's see how this goes. That doe foot puts down a lot of product, so you really don't need many dabs. I'm gonna actually take some of it onto my eyelids so that I use up all that we put down there. I say we. Me and Ziva. She's over on the heating pad. Alright, well, that applied easily and quickly, and I would say with one pass it's actually a nice amount of coverage. Yeah? I mean, whew. Let's try the brush side. Same thing, I'll just do my 2 dabs with this giant brush. Angie Hot and Flashy, BK Beauty. This is the A506. I love it for concealer. I'm honestly not sure if it's intended for concealer or not. Do you see how much product is here that when you use a sponge, my sponge was dry, so that's part of it, but I like a dry sponge better for concealer than a wet sponge. The sponge does soak up a lot of product because I put down the same number of dabs and the brush does not soak it up, so you get it all on your face. And I would say that's actually even more coverage than that side, which makes sense if more product stuck around. Let's even it out just a little bit. I'm going to wipe off the applicator so I don't get as much, because I just want a little bit more in my little trouble zones, shall I call them. I'm going to stick with the brush. I like how it blended out just a little bit better. We're just going to try to get the little blue blood vessel here. And my dark trough under here. That purple beast. This does have some nice coverage. If this holds up and is not drying, I'm going to be like, whoa. The other previous Colorstay formula, I don't remember what grade I gave it, but I don't reach for it often, so it could not have been a favorite. Oh, this looks nice. This looks nice right off the bat, though. I'll give it that. We'll see if this holds up, but that's some nice coverage. And, you know, it's not spandex smoothing. You know I go into this all the time. My absolute favorite concealer of life was the Charlotte Tilbury no, Magic Away. Yeah. I was going to say Airbrush Flawless Finish, but that's the powder. That's not the concealer. Magic Away concealer. And nothing really is as spandexy as that one. But I will settle for not accentuating my lines and giving me coverage that does not look dry or cakey. That's a winning concealer for me. That's a good day. That's a happy thing. I'm liking this. Let me zoom you guys in. Coverage is great. Like, I can barely tell that I have any purple. This might be some of the best coverage in a concealer that I have seen in quite some time. And I didn't have to pile it on there. It was just nicely covering things up. Now I kind of wish I did it on my entire eyelids because concealer usually doesn't work as a primer for me because it tends to get in my creases of my hoods. But that coverage is some nice coverage. I can see the lines under my eyes and I can see the potential for it to kind of freeze them in place. I'm going to continue to tap it out in hopes that we can get it to dry down without locking any lines in place. But as we're starting out, I'm going to say we're looking all right. Let's check the time. It is 2:07. Let me go put the rest of my face on. I will be right back. Back with the Revlon Colorstay Flex Wear Concealer. It's holding up really well. It is not settling into lines. It hasn't frozen anything into place. Like I said, I did have to tap it out just a little bit a few times after I had applied it to get it to sort of smooth out and not freeze any of my lines in place, but it's not accentuating them. The coverage is fantastic. I didn't have any issues brushing. I only had a tiny bit of fallout with this eyeshadow. I need to show you guys. If you're curious how I got this eyeshadow look, Ace Beauty is beautiful. This is the Mystic Romance palette, and it gave me some old school ABH Modern Renaissance vibes, and so I did kind of a look reminiscent that I used to do out of that palette. And beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow palette. I did film this look. Check back later this week for, it's in my Ipsy haul. This was one of the potential things you could possibly get in your BoxyCharm this month in February if you are an Ipsy subscriber. I am going to go about my day. I'm going to get a sandwich. What else is new, right? And, oh, my bangs are mad at me because I had them clipped back, you know? And they don't like that I did that. Because I put too much of my pomade into my bangs, and now they're like trying to hold that part, and I don't want a part. I want them to just be down. You see it? You can tell where I split my bangs for my hair clips. And now it's just oh my gosh, it's a hot mess. It's just a hot mess. It's okay though. I'm gonna go about my day, and we'll see how this wears. I'll come back tonight. We'll check it out. We'll see if anything moved, anything settled, how it degraded. We'll check out all the things. I will see you guys in a bit. 9:31 p.m. I think that puts us just past 8 hours. Forgive me, I can't really remember. Let's take a look at how the new Revlon Flex Wear Full Cover Concealer held up. I think it held up better than my foundation did. I'm going to give it that right off the bat. Didn't settle into lines, didn't move around. I've only lost a little bit of coverage, so I think the degradation is graceful, which I like, I appreciate. I didn't have any trouble with it. I don't think it feels dry. I don't think it looks dry, which is pretty amazing. I was nervous about that clay, you know that. Let's zoom in so you guys can get a look at this. I don't know if I would call it 24-hour wear because I am seeing a little bit more of the purple of my under eyes coming through than was visible earlier, and I have not touched my under eyes at all, so 24 hours might be a stretch. But I do think it held up nicely. I can see some of the lines under my eyes, but I don't think they were frozen into place or anything like that. I think it is a very acceptable level. Not spandex, but really nothing is except for that Charlotte Tilbury. So if I had to give a grade to the Revlon Colorstay Flex Wear full cover, I'm going to give it an A. I think it's really nice. I'm going to go like middle of the road, like a 95% A. Do I wish it looked like spandex smoothing? Yeah, of course I do. But does it perform really nicely, especially for a drugstore concealer? You betcha. Absolutely. I'm going to say go for it. I'm a fan. I like it. This one's going to go into rotation. There you have it. Another episode of Concealer Fest is in the books. If you like concealer reviews, if you have any suggestions for ones you want me to try, give me a comment down below. Let me know. I keep a running list. I buy them whenever I can. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. If you would like my free worksheet for planning and tracking your skincare routine, check the link in the description. And as always, I appreciate your time, and I hope you all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.